What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Bridon League. This is going to be Game 2 between Basically Unknown and BBC in the best of 5 to determine who is going to be the winner of the entire thing. Basically Unknown grabbing game number 1 rather convincingly away from BBC, and well, the odds show that many people do favor Basically Unknown to win, but I wouldn't expect them to win that convincingly up against BBC. Regardless, they have another chance. Then they have another chance still, BBC, but we'll see if they can make it happen either way. I'm Mike Loris, going to be casting this game for you guys along with more Rage, please. And this is going to be a different game at the very least, man. Brewmaster going to be the first pick.
Yeah, this is something we haven't seen all too much in Bridon League in general, and so BU definitely the more flexible team, and I really think the onus is on BBC to start to switch it up here. Yeah, the Brood is going to be banned out, but I mean, if they keep going for these same heroes, it seems as if Basically Unknown is certainly prepared for it and a lot more well-equipped to deal with them than have other teams been in the past. BBC kind of resting on their laurels, picking up the Massacre Timbersaw, picking up the Wind Ranger for Miracle, etc., and some of Bridon's heroes, such as the Slark, as well as his Brood, if it's ever slipped throughout the tournament. So they have been able to beat some of the lower skill teams, but BU not having any of it. And we will see BBC open differently this time.
Well, they're going to pick up that axe first. A blink into a call can instantly win you a couple of fights, and then, well, does Levi know how to play any other heroes besides Disruptor? Because so far it's not so clear. He's really good at the hero, but eventually it's going to get banned out and they won't have it available to them. But regardless, Disruptor Axe, a solid combo. And Disruptor is very good versus Brewmaster, so it's fine for BBC to open up like this.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Masquerade play this axe once today, and it was a little bit underwhelming, to be honest, but he should be just fine. He's a generally good off-lane player for sure, yeah. Levi doesn't play Dota 2, he just plays Disruptor, but yeah, I mean, it's still something that's not really worth, by most teams' accounts, a first phase ban. So they do let it slip through, and BBC are often willing to pick it up that early on. I think they should look to go a little bit more aggressive with Yapzor's support in this one. Their weak early lane and little kill potential there, I think, hurt them quite a bit. So maybe they'll pick up something like the Sand King once again for him. I think the Rubik is still too defensive, so need something with a little bit more kill potential here. We'll see if they opt for that direction.
Yeah, grab something like the Sand King, which he previously played very well, or grab someone like a Vengeful Spirit, or it's a very safe pick, but it's also inherently more aggressive. Lion would have also been pretty good, but Basically Unknown going to snag that one first. Most likely going to be Hero 4 fucking Madden. He plays a mean Lion, man. It's kind of backbreaking if you're Axe to blink into a Spike before you get a call, or blink into a Hex, and then you're just going to get ground up. So it's a nice response for Basically Unknown, grabbing one of the few instant disables that are in the game, and well, Brewmaster Lion, it's a pretty potent combo. I'd say overall it's a little bit more dangerous than Axe Disruptor.
Yeah, and fucking Mad's Lion was banned out last game, if I recall correctly, as well. So this is a hero they certainly prioritize to a certain extent from the side of BU, and they are very flexible and have shown that, especially in the mid lane with mind control. But something we mentioned in the first game, that he really wants to be on these heroes who have the potential to start creating space and controlling the tempo, and his Brewmaster is certainly one that can do that. So we'll see how much BBC are willing to commit to lock down this Brew and not let him get that primal split off early, but look to see mind control making some things happen as soon as he picks up that ultimate.
Yeah, they do have answers to Brewmaster pre-split in the Static Storm and post-split with that call. It also does a pretty good job at handling the Brewmaster for a little while. You're not going to kill him, but you're going to, make him less of a factor moving forward. Batrider's Zeus going to be banned out from the BBC side, whereas for Basically Unknown, going to take out the Dazzle. You really don't want Dazzle and Axe together. A little bit too dangerous there with the minus armor and the survivability. Axe gets out of control, and of course, Bridon's Slark. So BBC, either side will be looking for another support hero, so I think now's about the time when you want to grab that support. And I'm still liking the Venge or Sand King here. Enigma, though, is going to be the pick for Yapzor, and he plays pretty good Enigma. And it's also another answer to that Brewmaster, but up against a Lion, you have to be very careful with how you position yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a little greedy from BBC, but we'll see what they end up rounding out their lineup with. It certainly can work, and they have, in essence, what a lot of people like to call two black holes here, with both the Berserker's Call and the black hole from the Enigma, who obviously scales a little better with that midnight pulse damage, especially if he picks up an Eggs. But a lot of blink initiation and counter initiation available to BBC here. They will be able to lock down this Brewmaster. As you mentioned, Bridon's Slark is going to be banned out by BU, as well as the Dazzle, and Bambo Echoes, Bat Rider going to be banned once again. They're not going to give that Zeus over to BU, although it's usually mind control to play that. They do run that in a support role from time to time, but it looks like they kind of had the right idea here for BBC. Queen of Pain going to be picked up by BU in addition to that Brewmaster.
All right, so maybe it's going to be Bambo handling the Brewmaster, or actually no, Paris likes to Brewmaster quite a bit as well, so basically I don't have flexibility, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a mind control on the Queen of Pain heading towards the mid lane. It's such a great player hero combination there, and well, right now you don't know who you're going to be up against in that mid lane. Does have to worry about quite a few disables eventually from the BBC side if you're the Queen of Pain, so it's not going to be just an instant win Queen of Pain pickup as sometimes it normally is. But you know, for basically unknown, they have a lot of heroes that can make action happen all the time. They will have mobility for days with the Brewmaster eventual blink, with the Queen of Pain's blink, and Lion's eventual blink. And that initiation means that they will be able to start the fights on their own terms, for the most part, trying to avoid that axe call.
Yeah, and I think you touched on the biggest part is they need to take engagements on their terms, because Queen of Pain very susceptible to what Axe has to offer. So if they're able to create space with this brew, perhaps cyclone one target up into the air, give the Queen of Pain a little bit of space. This pure damage ultimate is going to do quite a bit of work, and with that 1300 range blink from level 1, she will be able to posture herself up pretty defensively until there's initiation elsewhere from the side of BU. And I feel like it's a little bit better of a setup for a Queen of Pain in this one, being that the initiation onus is not all on her back.
BBC going to grab the Viper as their fourth hero. It's not typically a hero that you see all the time from BBC. It's typically, Viper is a little bit more linear. He's not really an explosive hero that could just go out of control, but it's still a solid hero to pick up if you're BBC, because you need a hero to go up against Queen of Pain, and Viper will do that job pretty decently, which I'm assuming is going to be a Miracle Viper. It feels kind of lukewarm, like we were just talking about this previously with mind control and the Jakiro. You really want to have heroes on these players that could just go out of control, nuts, snowball, and then just win the game outright. But Viper's a solid hero to pick up, and you don't really see too much of Viper nowadays, although when you do, it's always fine. Like, the hero's never going to be, or very rarely going to be, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at the lack of love for Storm Spirit from both these teams. I feel like he's great in this matchup. Picks up an early Orchid, great against the Brewmaster. And so he's not bad with the Axe and some other heroes too. Is very elusive, probably won't get hit by an Earth Spike more often than not. But either way, they pick up the Viper there. The Corrosive Skin is nice versus some of the magical damage, but the Queen of Pain does do pure damage. It's nice versus Finger of Death for sure, and he's a little bit of a tanky hero, perhaps looking to garner some attention. But I feel like most of the focus is going to be on Axe from BBC, and as we saw earlier on in the first series today, Viper not the scariest right-click threat early on. So unless he builds really heavily into that avenue, I do see a little bit of a lack of firepower here from BBC.
They're still looking for Bridon, his hero, so that's usually where the right-click power does come from when you're talking about BBC's draft. Unknown, going to grab an Enchantress, so that's certainly not something that I would expect. We see a Warlock ban from BBC. It's also not something that you ordinarily see, but BU just ran the Warlock the other day, and they actually won with that hero. So if you're talking about one weird hero in the Enchantress, you might as well just take out all those strategies. So Enchantress going to put basically Unknown on a little bit more of an aggressive game plan. She can do late game if she is, getting a little bit of farm. She has a Hand of Midas, Aghanim Scepter. She'll be dishing towards the likes of Viper and Axe with that pure damage, but it seems like basically Unknown are geared up to do something a little bit out of the ordinary.
There are some units here. There could be something a little bit weird coming out from BBC, like a Core Earthshaker. But yeah, we expect that standard Padrino right-click oriented hero here. BKB Builder wouldn't be bad. Of course, the pure damage from the Queen of Pain ultimate is still kind of throwing a wrench into that. But expect something that comes fighting a little bit early, maybe like a Gyrocopter that does transition later into the game. Padrino probably not the most comfortable hero on comfortable player on something like a Gyro, but either way, you are going to look for BU to start the aggression early with a roaming combo of an Enchantress Lion. They have a lot of potential, especially towards that mid lane. So I do look for BBC to pick up something for Padrino that can fight a little bit earlier than a Spectre.
5 seconds remaining.
Really, I've seen him run the Slark all the time. Necrophos and Spectre seem to be of course the Broodmother as well, but those seem to be the vast majority of the hero pool for Bridon, and that's maybe a little bit concerning right now, just because those heroes don't really, or they're either banned out or they just don't seem to be fantastic here. So for BBC, I mean, you could always go for those kind of like vanilla heroes. You said like Gyrocopter. It will be fine
10
here, but
seconds
man,
remaining.
I really don't know. It seems like Basically Unknown will just have control of this game with
5
the
seconds
Lion Enchantress,
remaining.
and this is actually a duo that can contest an Enigma's farm. You don't really see that often, but if you
Dire
mess with the
team
Enigma at all, then he'll be having a bad time. BBC going to grab a Puck, actually, so maybe it's going to be Bridon grabbing that Viper, Miracle Puck, and a Massacre Axe.
Yeah, that's probably the configuration in terms of player hero combos. Still not a huge fan of the pickup. I don't think it offers them enough. Queen of Pain has enough blink range that the coil snap is not a big deal for her. And Puck does offer some early firepower, but they really don't scale
10
well
seconds
from
remaining.
BBC. And Basically Unknown still able to pick up that one position, and with the
5
roam
seconds
potential early,
remaining.
should be relevant pretty much throughout this game. So I feel like, once again, Mad working his magic at the
Reserve
draft screen
time.
is kind of has BBC's number here.
Yeah, so BBC, they're going to be running low on the right-click damage eventually in this game, though. Basically Unknown's right-click damage isn't that high either.
Yeah.
It's mostly going to be BBC going all in these AoE teamfight ultimates, like the Puck combo, the Enigma combo, Disruptor, Static Storm, and Axe. Like, these AoE tools are going to be what win or lose BBC their fights. And if they could lock down the Brewmaster with any given silence or disable, then that'll probably be a fight that BBC can win. But if they don't do that, if they let the split happen, then it's going to be troublesome. It's a DK for Basically Unknown.
Wow.
I gotta say, man, I think we should see more DK. It's kind of a boring hero to watch, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But he gets the job done. And together with Enchantress, the pushing power that Basically Unknown have is going to be massive. And also, him having so much armor, if he grabs a BKB, he will be nigh unkillable. Like, you cannot kill a DK here with BBC's lineup.
Yeah, that's true. With a BKB and only the physical damage from pretty much the Axe and the Viper, they won't be able to kill him with that Dragon Blood. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, he supplements their push quite a bit. It seems on paper like it's good, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like offlane Queen of Pain is super underwhelming. I would have liked to see something a little bit more right-click based from BU there, but it could certainly work out, and Matt is definitely gonna prove that this is kind of a worthy pick here. I assume Mind Control gonna pick that up in the mid though, and Paris gonna play on that Brewmaster, so gonna be interesting to see how BU fares with this one.
Yeah, I think you pretty much touched on it. I really like the DK with what Unknown have and up against what BBC have, but forcing the Queen of Pain to the off lane seems to be pretty expensive. Like, Bambo's Queen of Pain from the past, what games I've seen of him, he's just been going nuts even though he has been on the off lane, or I think it's actually mostly been a defensive safe lane solo for Queen of Pain, but either way, like, Queen of Pain is such a hit or miss hero when you lane her as such, and Mind Control is very secure in that mid lane, but it'll take a while before he actually has an explosive impact in this game as well. So we'll see how either side wants to land it, but for BBC, first of all, they're going to group up and go as 5 into their own jungle. We actually have Miracle playing that Axe with the Absolor on the Enigma, Levi on the Disruptor. Pedrino will take that Viper, and it's going to be Massacre as the Puck. These are not the real standard hero player assignments that you would expect from BBC.
Yeah, and a little bit unorthodox from BU as well. Paris going to pick up the off lane Brewmaster opposed to the safe lane. He's going to be accompanied currently by Magoma on that line. In the mid lane, they are going to have Mind Control picking up the DK, and over towards that safe lane, fucking Mad playing on the Enchantress will be accompanied by Sexy Bambo on that Queen of Pain.
Well, Enchantress has smoke first, and you would expect Enchantress to play very closely with Magoma, as Enchantress ganks are fairly dangerous, but not really something you have to worry about too much. When you partner up with someone like Lion, then things get really dangerous for BBC. So for now, I would expect Magoma to support the bottom lane, but fucking Mad, he is in his jungle for right now, but I don't think that's going to be the case for very long. He can, in theory, just stay in the jungle, stack up a whole bunch, and then use a Wild Wing Tornado to clear everything and get really rich that way. But he has a smoke first, and going towards bottom lane will be a prime objective for him.
Certainly so, and we'll see how these lanes fare for BU. It'll be a little bit interesting. I still don't know why I don't go for the Void or the Morphling there, but we'll see how this DK works out. I'm going to be salty about it for a little while until they raffle stomp them in 25 minutes. But either way, Miracle postured up very aggressively in mid on the Axe, as he should be in this one-on-one melee matchup, and BU kind of playing into BBC's hand with that last pick DK in at least the laning sense.
This is a problem with DK in that he is very tanky in lane. Eventually, he'll get there with the Dragon Blood, but as far as winning lanes, he doesn't do that. Like, that's just not how the DK works. He survives them, and Axe is a hero that can punish any other melee hero. Doesn't really matter who
Right.
it is in lane, and DK really doesn't have many tools that's getting around that, except for maybe maxing out Dragon's Blood or prioritizing Dragon's Blood a little bit more than ordinary. But either way, DK's not gonna have a good time versus Miracle, and there's no two ways about it unless they have help with fucking Mad, who is coming around with 2 creeps. Only 1 Centaur though, so I don't really know if that's going to be happening. And up towards top, Bambo will get a little bit of break going up against the Puck, a relatively even lane there, but I'm pretty sure Unknown will be just so much happier if the DK was going up against Puck and the Queen of Pain was going up against Axe.
Yeah, they're perhaps looking to find this jungling Enigma with fucking Mad. They're not going to do it early on. Magoma rotating in to help him out. Deep ward planted as well. But yeah, I feel like unless they find a very quick kill here onto Levi, the lanes are going to favor BBC. Nice spike through the tree line from Magoma, and the stomp will be there to secure the kill. Very well shot, but Magoma may fall here. The orb effect is taking him down, and he'll be just okay. One more right click needed. The tornado will be there to zone out the Viper. So they do find that kill as needed in the bot lane, but Magoma probably going to have to rotate back to heal up. Kinetic Field is going to latch just on a Wild Wing, however, and the nice deny coming out as well from fucking Mad.
Alright, so they swoop down towards the bottom lane as promised. Enchantress with that smoke going to put some pressure down towards the bottom lane, and as you said, they would expect to find Yapzor. That's the hero that they really wanted to find, but getting any kill for first blood, you're not really going to be too upset about that if you're basically Unknown, and that's just going to set precedent for this Enchantress moving forward. Together with Magoma, that level 2 is really all you need if you're that lion. A spike through the trees that was blind, and that did hit in the end, so Magoma's going to be packing some pretty serious threat, and now he has an Invis rune. Though fucking Mad this time doesn't have any creeps, they are going to start messing with Yapzor's farm. Fucking Mad, that's probably not how you want to mess with the farm, though. It's going to try to actually grab a Wild Wing. He will be successful in doing that, but taking a lot of damage in the process. Still, Magoma has actually... Maybe he was spotted by that sentry? No, I don't think they had any real vision there. So Magoma's still invisible, still looking, but I don't think he's going to find anyone.
Yeah, Levi may rotate up to the north, and they do have Bridon postured up pretty forward, but he's got a level in the corrosive skin, 663 HP, should be pretty tanky here. He's going to catch a clap, however, and they're actually going to completely overlap that with the spike, so Bridon should be able to back off just fine, and he will be able to do so. Kinetic Field going to cover his retreat as well, so a little bit of a misplay perhaps from BU. Don't know if they had the kill potential, but the extra slow from Paris should have given them enough. Meanwhile, Bambo diving deep finds a solo kill onto Massacre.
Man, Bambo's Queen of Pain, or offlane play in general, has just been so on point, and Queen of Pain really isn't a hero that you would expect to kill off of Puck, just because, well, Puck has Silence and Phase Shift, and both of Queen of Pain's really dangerous skills, Scream of Pain and Dagger, are very easily dodged, or I guess the Dagger more so than the Scream, but still, you can dodge most of the threat from the Queen of Pain, but you're still going to be chased down. And I think it's really the change in that blink range, that you get so much range from level 1, that really made the difference there. You can orb out, but you're going to be chased, and Queen of Pain off of that one is just going to slowly start to get that snowball rolling. And over towards bottom lane, Paris is behind the tier 1. I guess he really wanted to go for Bridon, but that wasn't a good idea, because now he's going to get kited and brought down. Didn't expect Yapzor to rotate in, and will pay the price.
Yeah, that's kind of big there, and it's a pretty big kill up onto Paris. It'll delay his Blink Tiger quite heavily. He has picked up a bottle and will be able to return to lane with a TP. Fucking Mad is pretty low in terms of level progression. Almost going to find his 3 as a taunt goes out mid. A couple Helixes bringing Mind Control pretty low, but not quite level 6 is Miracle, and a little bit too tanky is Mind Control to be brought down here. But yeah, fucking Mad, he's going to need a little bit of time to start recovering. 5 minutes in, your Enchantress only level 2, just now level 3 is not where you want her to be.
Yeah, she got First Blood, which is nice, but you either need to get a lot of farm, like have stacks behind that First Blood, or First Blood and Second Blood and Third Blood if your Enchantress is really going to be going off. And she will most likely be playing a very passive game for the next couple of minutes. Maybe she's going to wander into, okay, a smoke. So Centaur and Satyr, it's a fine ganking combination, and they might want to help out this DK over in mid, because he's not having a good time. Mind Control is going to get taunted by Miracle, but this might play into the hands of Unknown in the end. There is a Culling Blade here, but he gets stunned beforehand. Now the double stun plus Hex. They layer it up once again, but they have enough burst damage to kill off the Axe regardless. Mind Control lucky to get out of that situation alive without having to deal with the Culling Blade, but 3-1 now, and Unknown, their Enchantress, is going to get a little bit more experience, a little bit more power, just threatening BBC's map presence a little bit more after every single smoke.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of effective smoke there mid lane, and a nice Dragon Tail just out of the duration of that call to keep Mind Control up. He was well within range for a Culling Blade, even at level 1 at that point. And that's a big advantage for him to accrue mid lane after Miracle was destroying him on and everyone else for that matter on the CS ward.
So Lion's skill build is actually pretty clear. They're going to wander to Mass Carry first of all, though. Bambo has no mana for a Sonic Wave, but I think they should be able to have enough to kill off Mass Carry regardless. Short Orb Jump, actually. That was maybe a mistake, although not really sure if he really would have gotten out of there anyway. It's going to be Mass Carry wandering into the wrong place at the wrong time, but yeah, Lion's skill build, 2 points mana drain. This is not something you would expect going up against a Puck, but the mana harassment up against what BBC has is pretty significant. Just not sure if that's really the build you want to be going for. They're going to try to go for Miracle over in the mid lane. Magoma has a level 1 spike. Mana drain is there. Look at that harassment. So nice. Level 2 spike wouldn't have gotten the kill anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But now that the dragon is level 6, he will have a much better chance at standing up against this Axe in lane.
Yeah, and they did definitely delay the Blink Dagger coming out from Miracle. 1,200 gold on him. Paris is going to be scouted out by this Thunderclap bot lane. Has the Primal Split available to him, though, so should you be just fine here. And looks like Bambo's finding his farm. Level 7, almost 8 now on the Queen of Pain. 24 CS on him. 3rd overall, but topping the net worth chart at the moment.
Yeah, Bambo is going to be really dangerous with this. He gets upgraded boots or anything with this gold, and he's going to be able to put the screws to BBC. Now, fortunately for BBC, even though Bambo is doing pretty darn well, their Axe is just getting out of control farm versus this DK. As you would really expect, the hero who's falling behind, which is actually extremely surprising, is Bridon on the Viper. Just going up against Paris, I mean, he is a little bit scared about rotation coming in from the rest of BU, but Bridon should be having a lot more farm in this lane.
Yeah, definitely so. He's pretty much been left unchecked except for that early attempt where they overlaid the clap and the spike. Mid lane, though, they do have Massacre waiting on the high ground with the coil available and no dragon form up for mind control. He could be in a little bit of trouble here. Massacre going to posture up in the tree. The range creep actually scouts him out, kind of, briefly. And the call is going to be used on the wave, so mind control just going to be fine for now. And yep, rotations out to the west from Massacre is going to stifle this aggression.
They're going to set up for a smoke gang. 2 Centaurs going to lead the way. Padrinho and Levi going to get cornered. Spike going to go towards that Viper split from Paris as well. These Centaurs going to provide so much meat for them to hide behind, but it's going to be fucking mad in the most trouble. He will be fine though. Padrinho is going to take a fall as they throw the Cyclone towards that Puck. Still the Centaur, or one Centaur, is roaming around. I don't think Unknown can get anything else besides what they've already gotten. There's so many reinforcement heroes have come in. Yapster looking for a black hole. Will catch 3 heroes with it, but the follow-up just isn't there. Magoma's going to interrupt that, and Yapster's going to take a fall. Sonic Wave through Mascari and Levi. Going to get hit by that blink forward from Bambo. Has very little mana, but Mascari doesn't have that much health either. Here comes Mind Control from the back. Going to catch Levi with the Dragon Tail. Will breathe fire over the trees to kill off the Puck. Now going to finish off the Disruptor. And basically Unknown clean house on the bottom lane. Axe is nowhere to be found. He just got his Blink Dagger gold, so he's not going to be joining the fight anytime soon. But basically Unknown, man, that was some fight, and they bring in the heat, and they bring it in hard.
That was just beautiful. Like every single positioning element, every single ability cast, the breathe fire through the trees, even the glimpse back onto Magoma allowed him to walk in and cancel that black hole, despite it being very nicely placed from Yapzor. And altogether, they take a tier 1 and a big engagement. Bottom lane, 8-1 is your score, and they've now found a very nice net worth advantage going their way. Blink Dagger is probably being ferried out now. Yeah, it is for Miracle, however, not being involved in that one. So that's at least some beacon of hope for BBC.
Yeah, so Miracle is going to have so much pressure on him in this particular game, but again, you can't really go for kills on the DK very easily. He will try a couple of spins, but these spins are doing next to nothing. Magoma's here on the low ground as well. Sexy Bambo teleports in with the breathe fire. Miracle is going to die. That's not how you want to reveal your Blink Dagger. Now for Levi, Finger of Death from downtown. Going to kill off that Disruptor as well. 10-1 and Unknown. I mean, they're beating BBC, but they're also kind of embarrassing them. They're just catching them at every single turn. You don't want to go for a DK with your first Blink Dagger on Axe. Sometimes you just got to go for it, but Unknown in the right place at the right time yet again. Going to shut down BBC cold.
Yeah, and they have so much burst damage, and they're just so efficient and economical with it. And they could have used that finger early on the Axe, but with the Breathe Fire and the Scream of Pain, meanwhile, top lane, they're going to go have the jump back from Massacre. It should keep him up for the time being. Bambo continuing to look for this, though, with the Scream of Pain, one right click. He's able to take it out. He'll blink to the south as well. Call not going to be used. Stop casted by Miracle. He will find it onto Bambo. Kinetic Field should give them vision as well. Bambo going to drop a Screen of Pain, looking to bring down Levi. Will do so, blinking down to the east as well. Split committed from Paris. Blink down to the south from Miracle will keep him safe. But this is probably another tier 1 going to be forfeit over to BU.
Man, that was a pretty ambitious split from Paris, but it doesn't really matter in the end since they collect so much. Bambo, 5-0-4, the second time that I've seen where he just goes, oh, fucking mad, don't stand still versus Miracle. That's not a good idea. Only one spin so far, another one will result in the kill, but he gets the stomp off. Then the Spirits. Miracle is actually now in a little bit of trouble because of these impetus shots. Miracle needs 2 more, will bottle up. Here comes Bambo. 6-0-4 on the Queen of Pain now. Dude, this guy is just freaking out of control. This is such a dominating hero played by such a great player. And man, 13-1 right now, and basically unknown. Though their mid lane was pretty darn pretty bad train wreck, it doesn't really seem to matter anymore. Their Dragonite is recovered and then some. They've taken down a whole slew of tier 1 towers, and they have such a kill advantage. Everything's going right for basically unknown. And what do BBC have to rely on? A call, a static storm, a black hole. I mean, they're not out of it, but it's just going to be so much more difficult for them moving forward.
Yeah, a little interesting from Mind Control. He'll pick up a Sanj as opposed to his BKB. Feel like a BKB would have made him more or less invulnerable here, but maybe if he goes for a Halberd and disables Padrino's right click, they have absolutely nothing from the side of BBC, so I kind of get the item pickup if it is a Halberd. SNY not bad at all as well on the DK. Gives him a little bit more move speed to find those Dragon Tails. Top lane, Dagon, Scream of Pain, Massacre going to be melted by Sexy Bambo. 7-0-4 on this Queen of Pain, and definitely a snowbally item in the Dagon pickup.
Jeez, this is going to be a terrifying Queen of Pain, and I'm expecting a Sanjinyasha to come up from Mind Control, and if you have an advantage like this, Sanjinyasha is the perfect item to just hold on to that advantage and grow it. He's going to run slightly ahead of Levi, but he'll turn around when he realizes, hey, there's a Disruptor right here. Dragon Tail with Magoma coming in. Finger of Death is available, but it won't even be needed. Hell, he doesn't even take spike damage before he dies. Lucky Mad was also there, but that also was completely unneeded. 15 now to 1 as they're also going to catch Padrino on the retreat from the bottom lane. Blink, Hex, not even needed that Blink, and Padrino most likely to take a Finger of Death right now. No, again, not needed. Lion Spike this time is going to get that kill. Everywhere these unknown heroes go, just death follows in their wake, and they're getting to a point where they can start taking, you know, solo kills, just Lion by himself, going around and finding kills.
Yeah, definitely. So they still have the Primal Split available. No mana for it at this point, but either way, like, things are looking super scary now for BBC. Midas even picked up from Paris, so perhaps the one hero who didn't find much farm is now going to be able to recover very reliably. 3rd overall on the net worth. The Tricore of BU is ahead of everyone on BBC currently, and even the Lion is ahead of their free farm jungle Enigma at this point. Has a Blink at level 8.
Dude, this is getting out of control for BBC. Like, how are you supposed to deal with this form of initiation? Blink Hex is like one of the best single target initiations in the game, and when he has a Queen of Pain to follow up, it's just like so oppressive. You can't get any space. You have to stay so far away, and if the enemies see you at all, you're going to be dying. So BBC, they're going to be using just that threat in order to kill off this bottom tier 1 tower. Magoma does see the Viper, but that's a little bit too much for the Lion to deal with by himself. Instead, they'll settle for a tier 2 tower 14 minutes into the game. Fucking Mad has a Hellbear who is running out of time, so they can't go for any more, but they will blink in towards mid lane. Bambo will almost completely kill off Mass Carry. Another blink or something will get the kill. Sonic Wave, blind. Now he's just going to blink defensively. Very well restrained by Bambo, and Mass Carry is going to live, but man, he didn't get that tower down, and he was forced to use his coil to just survive.
Yeah, and when you're using your Dream Coil just to TP out, you certainly have some worries, and Bambo going to pick up that 2nd level of his Dagon as well. Matt comes out for Yapzor, but they haven't really been able to ball up. They've kind of been being picked off one by one here from the lineup of BBC. Miracle hasn't made any significant work out of this Blink Dagger, and level 9 currently. The level advantage is absolutely massive right now. The highest, or the Viper, is the level of the supports for BU, and the Puck as well as Levi's Disruptor very low currently at level 7 and 6.
You got 0-5-0 on Mass Carries, 0-3-0 on Miracle's Axe with a Blink Dagger, 0-5-1 on Levi. These are just not the scores you want to see ever, but with a 1-16 kill deficit, it's not too surprising that that is the case for these heroes. The Puck has 1,500 net worth. That's just not supposed to be correct ever. And Mind Control has gone for that Heaven's Halberd. It's a much more defensive item than I would really expect. When you're ahead, you want to get offensive items typically, but Dragonite still is going to be damn near impossible to kill him. We have a ganking squad of Magoma Bambo looking down towards the bottom lane. Padrino, this time I'm pretty sure Finger of Death is going to be used with the Blink, Hex, Spike, Finger of Death. Easy, easy kill. Sonic Wave was available if they needed it.
Yeah, level 2 Dagon there, not even necessary, even through the corrosive skin. And they will rip apart Padrino. He's kind of the one hero they really have to be worried about at this point. Miracle's nice to have on the axe, but they've been able to burst him down more often than not. Fucking Mad may pop this smoke here and run into his own death. Jump forward call will be there with the waning rift as well as the dunk incoming. They should bring him down, and they will. But the Primal Split's getting committed. Sonic Wave is going to go on to Masquerade. Breathe Fire will finish him off. There was a glimpse back from Levi onto Bambo to the bot lane. Miracle gonna fall, however. TPing out is Yapsor. He will be able to make it. The Wind Panda looking to find Levi, will be able to lift him up in the air. And Paris gonna come in as well as Mind Control. Should be an easy kill onto Levi. One big Drunken Brawler kit and the clap and one more right click brings down Levi overall. Double kill for Paris. 3 for 1 for fucking Mads Enchantress. It's not even a core going down. And Bambo being glimpsed back to the bot lane will just continue to farm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's well, he's not going to be able to pad his score with that glimpse back, but he will still be able to get quite a bit going. He's now looking for the mid lane snipe onto Yapsor. That's not going to happen just yet, but man, 220, like, what are you supposed to do when the score is 2-20? If you have vastly superior late game, you're probably going to just try to bank on that vastly superior late game hero. But that's not even the case right now. Like, Unknown, their late game isn't that impressive either. They have DK Brewmaster, Queen of Pain. These are all decent mid-game heroes, but late game they tend to fall off. But Unknown, they'll get to late game a lot faster if it really does come to that. And it might not even come to that. It doesn't seem like this game is really going to go the distance because BBC, they haven't managed to get anything going on a very large scale.
They've almost accrued a 1,000 net worth lead per minute for BU. At the 12-minute mark, they were at 10K. In terms of a net worth lead, and they're at 10K in terms of experience now. And I mean, hopefully, at least for Twitch chat's sake, we get BBC getting 2-0 here, and we get that 420 YOLO XX Blaze it. But either way, it's looking pretty grim.
Dude, 420 and 322, right? Those are the only numbers that we care about at this point. Like, net worth doesn't even matter. Just fix it so that it all works out in our favor. But for right now, Unknown, they're going to go into Roshan. They don't really have great Roshing heroes. No, wait, no. Double damage Bambo. That's suddenly a much better hero to Rosh with. And BBC, this is their chance on paper to make some sort of huge play. But Goma getting glimpsed back into a Static Storm is going to start things off pretty well for BBC. But the question is, do they know that this is happening? And can they do anything about this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this Roshan's forfeit regardless, and they're even going to use the Halberd onto Rosh. So that's kind of a cheeky play there from Mind Control. They'll be able to bring him down pretty quickly. They'll probably give this over to Bambo, and they will do so. Definitely Mind Control super tanky. Paris with the split. It certainly makes sense to give that Queen of Pain. A Miracle going to be ticked out with the Urn mid, but before it can pop, he will get his blink off. He's got a haste as well. Will keep him safe. But bot lane, Padrino, very susceptible. Sonic Wave from the tree line. Jump forward, Scream of Pain. Dagon is there. He'll try to TP out and should be able to do so. And nice play from Padrino. A lot expended from Bambo, but still, he's not going to be able to continue to farm. However, Miracle jumps in with the call, and the dunk is there. That'll be the Aegis. It'll give him enough movement speed as well to be able to back out. And Bambo gonna waste the Aegis there, but not the biggest deal for BBC. Unfortunately, it was the Aegis. No 420 from that one.
Alright, so when your Queen of Pain can kill off the enemy Viper by herself, then you might as well just go in and win the game, because Viper is by far the tankiest hero. He's gone for such a tanky build in the Cloak and the Ogre Club. He's taking no chances when it comes to his Queen of Pain's damage output, but he will able to survive. He will be able to survive, and he'll make it back home and everything like that. But still, it's basically just Sexy Bambo testing how much damage he can do, and the answer, not quite enough just yet, but still, it's not going to matter too much since it's only the Aegis lost. And at this point, when you're this far ahead, you could afford to throw away a couple of things here and there. But for right now, the rest are basically unknown. They're going to go towards the top lane. No one's going to get glimpsed back in this particular fight, and I don't even know if BBC want to defend this. I don't even know if they can.
Yeah, Dragon form up, Finger of Death up, Primal split up. They should probably just concede this last tier 2, and it looks like they will be willing to do so. The Illusory Orb going to go out to try and nuke down this wave, but it'll be an easy tier 2, and with this Elder Dragon form up at level 2, perhaps they consider a high ground push, but Bambo has joined the fray now, and they do have that full 5-man lineup. They have a very big advantage. All their teamfight ultimates up. There is some pretty good high ground defense with the call, with the coil, with the static storm, and the black hole. So they need to be certainly worrisome about their positioning here, but definitely have a massive advantage. Fucking Mad gonna get caught with the Malefice, and the call is gonna be stop casted there by the Axe. Not quite gonna find it. Padrino gonna get instantly hex, jump forward, clap is gonna whiff. Primal Split will be there though, and Padrino definitely gonna be the first to fall here. Last impetus shot will barely be enough. With the tick down, Bambo's right click gonna find the Axe there, and everyone else completely zoned out. Looks like this tier 2 will go down uncontested. Still have just a second left on the Dragon Form. Mind Control actually gonna have to rotate out, and the glyph is available. So glimpse back onto Paris. He'll be caught in the kinetic field as well as having the call on him. He's dropping very low. Dragon Tail onto Masquery though. Scream of Pain, Dagon will finish him off. Jump forward dunk is gonna finish off Paris. It's a 2-for-1 thus far. Bambo on a godlike streak. We'll have a buyback from Massacre's puck. They're going to look to find more here. Blink is available in 2 seconds from Miracle. Will he choose the right direction? He does, but a blink out from Magoma. Very nice reactions from the Lion, and that'll help fucking Mad get out. Even finds a bounty rune for his troubles. He's got 3 components of his Aghanims. Will get glimpsed back, however, right before purchasing up this Ags, and that's a big death for fucking Mad, but not the biggest loss for BU. They overstay their welcome a bit in that mid lane, but still, buyback committed for Masquerade for that one. Don't know if he found enough to make it worth his while.
Yeah, this puck needs just so much more. He, at the very least, needs a Blink Dagger, but off of that buyback, he's not going to have that Blink Dagger for even longer. The 322 Dream was there for a couple of seconds, but not long enough. Unknown, going perhaps a little bit too deep would have been satisfied with going just for the tier 2 tower if they had more creep support, but unfortunately that wasn't really going to happen either, and the Dragon Form was running out. So, as I said, overstaying their welcome for just a little bit too much, and BBC end up getting a couple of kills here and there. But will these kills actually translate into anything substantial? Item-wise, probably not. Like, Viper is forced to go to this super defensive build with the hood and most likely into the pipe. Not really the build you want to be going for in your quote-unquote core hero, or you know, core right-click hero, your #1 position hero. So, for the Viper, he's forced into a less than ideal situation right now, and Unknown, they don't have the Aegis. They still have a lot of momentum, though, and a vast advantage. So, you know what? They're going to take those losses in stride. They still can get these fights going if they have all their ultimates up.
Miracle's finally picked up his Blade Mail. That's kind of a nice pickup for BBC. There's no BKBs quite yet for the side of BU, but Ogre Axe is already up onto Mind Control, so that's presumably his next item. Everyone else is fairly tanky, even 3 components of the Aghanims for fucking Mad. Bambo has completely invested into this Dagon, however. Hopefully that pans out for his sake. Dagon 4 now available to him with that 700 burst damage before reduction, so he'll be hitting very hard. And Dragon Form going to be pop mid, and knowing that a couple of the buybacks have been expended for BBC will sound the push here from BU.
Alright, so that's going to be, jump in onto Mass Carry, one more right click, Bambo going to assassinate the puck without having to use that Sonic Wave. So already one of the tools that BBC have at defending this, the Dream Coil and the Silence, they're going to be down the tubes. Tower is going to be destroyed, and they do glimpse back the Brewmaster so that he can't teleport and defend the top lane, but the odds of BBC going for a tier 2 tower push here and actually succeeding, close to 0. So it's just going to mean that basically Unknown do in fact take the last outer tier 2 tower, and also Miracle very close to Magoma right now. I don't think these heroes know where each other are, but Magoma's going to run into a Viper. That's not where you want to be ever as Lion. He has the Axe to worry about soon as well. He will get caught with that corrosive skin, so he can't blink out. Miracle will decide to not pull the trigger, and Padrino is just going to simply teleport out of there. They do know that Miracle is kind of here, although I think at this point they could assume that he's teleported out. But Miracle playing things rather sneaky. I don't think there's anything that could randomly give them vision, so Miracle... Oh no, the creeps actually revealed Miracle. Magoma... No, okay, he's not going to realize what happened, but over towards bottom lane, Yaps are going to try to make that push happen. That will also not succeed.
Yeah, so things gonna stagnate for the moment. 23-5 is your score. The net worth advantage has kind of plateaued and leveled out here, as has the experience after that big engagement feeding over quite a bit. But still, big advantage going BU's way. I feel like they're gonna need a little bit more out of Bambo as opposed to just having this Dagon. He is gonna build into some Necrobooks, help accelerate their push, crew more of an advantage as they gain some gold influx off of these structures. They do have most of their tier 1s, or outer tier towers, I should say, up. So there is quite a bit of gold on the map available to BBC. But as you mentioned, Padrino going for a very defensive build. Miracle not doing a hell of a lot of damage with the Blade Mail. They are going to rely on some massive black holes into static storms or things of those nature in order to take some big engagements.
And And those so far have not really been coming out, and with
Yeah.
the BKB now on the Dragon Knight, it's like, okay, you can catch him in the Static Storm, but he's most likely going to be in Dragon form, and then he just pops the BKB and turns around. You have to Black Hole him or call him, and that is just going to be a little bit difficult to have stick given the amount of crowd control on basically Unknown. So everyone on BBC, they're going to try to use their numbers advantage and their team fight advantage to lure someone up towards the top lane and then get something to happen from there, but I don't think basically Unknown are going to take that bait. There's no reason for them to really try to defend a bottom tier 2 when they could just as easily, if not easier, push the
Dire's
bottom
top
lane and then
tower
force
is under
BBC
attack.
back. So it's kind of a bluff push from BBC, but basically Unknown, they're just going to go towards the bottom lane. At least they should go towards the bottom lane and just defend or go attack that.
Yeah, Paris is actually going to rotate up, interestingly enough. I would have to agree with you on that front. But either way, it's kind of scary, the fact that they had a sub 25-minute Aghanim Scepter on their Enchantress, and especially considering how active fucking Mad was early on, it didn't find him too much farm. So he's going to be doing a deceptive amount of damage with that level 2 impetus up, and they're going to probably focus most of their firepower on Bambo here, who has been tearing through their lineup. And even once you get to the supports, Magoma certainly seems scarier than fucking Mad at this point, but he'll be able to chunk down a few of these heroes with that pure damage.
Well, Paris up towards top is going to spot out Miracle, so both sides know that there are
Dire's
some
top
heroes up
tower
on this
is
top
under
lane, but
attack.
ultimately it's not really going to result into too much. Seems like Unknown are okay with playing this a little bit slower given the weakness of BBC. I mean, you're going to be pushing into black holes and static storms and all this messy stuff, and if you could avoid it, then you probably should just go ahead and avoid it. Yapsor, though, going to get jumped by the Queen of Pain. Malphus is there. Sonic Wave will fly through. Yapsor will die to a Shadow Strike. Call is there onto Bambo, but a Hex onto Miracle is going to mean he can't right-click at all, and he needs to at this point. Mind Control going to follow up with Chain Stun. Finger of Death is there as well. That's 2 kills going the way of basically Unknown, and the Queen of Pain gets out of there safe and sound. That's going to sound the call to push down any lane. Looks like it's going to be mid lane for basically Unknown, and BBC, without that black hole, there's such a slim chance that they could defend.
Yeah, Panic Ultimate, I guess, a bit from the Enigma there. I'm not sure if he knew that the Shadow Strike landed on him, but either way, not enough for Miracle to take one down with him. And Connectfield is going to catch Mind Control briefly. Paris going to jump forward with the clap. However, the Dragon Tail is there as well. Split being committed. Coil does land onto 4, but it's not going to be enough for them to follow up. Illusory Orb goes through quite a few, but this tower melting quickly. And Viper down without buyback for 45 seconds. No Coil available, no Black Hole. Only the Static Storm to save them. This will be easily a lane of Rax forfeit unabated.
At the very least, the Dragon Knight is still at half of his duration for his Elder Dragon form, and BBC, they're still without their Viper, and at this point, they need absolutely everyone if they're actually going to take a fight. Looks like BU, they're going to play this a little bit safe, and they're going to be falling back, maybe just waiting for BBC to push outwards, then they're going to collapse on them one more time and go for a secondary set, but you know, they use the Dragon form. No sense in fighting when your Dragon form is dwindling, so they'll back off and get, you know, any items that they want ever, waiting for Roshan, which is going to be respawning as well. So they'll have an Aegis to claim, this time with a Maelstrom DK, and, well, BBC, they can't really afford to go that far away from their base just because mid lane's going to be pushing in all the while. So I expect basically Unknown to very quickly clear up this Roshan and grab another life for Sexy Bambo.
Yep, Midas also paying dividends for Paris. He's picked up that Vlad's earlier on and now has the full BKB available to him. So that's 2 heroes with very large duration BKBs at this point for BU, and they're not going to be worried about quite a bit of what BBC has to offer in the puck and the disruptor. So that's nice for them. They'll also get a free Roshan here while with that untouchable to tank it up.
And then using those sprites, the Enchantress can get back up to full HP. Tower in the top lane taking like 200 damage. Like, no one cares about that on basically Unknown, and pretty sure BBC don't care about that either. But 526 and basically Unknown now with the double life yet again on this time the Dragon Knight, who is at this point pumping out some serious damage. So I think that Aegis pickup is fine, although I probably wouldn't do the same thing. They could defend this top lane. It's a cakewalk for them, and BBC, they have to worry about their mid lane, so they can't really stay up here for too long.
Yeah, definitely. So Miracle looking to flank someone here, but it actually looks like he'll end up being wiser about it, and he'll TP out, not looking to jump too deep behind enemy lines here. Yeah, they really can't find much aggression from the side of BBC, and as you mentioned, really no follow-up damage for a lot of these big ultimates, even if they do land them. Bridon is now building into an Aghanim Scepter still. That's not going to supplement his right-click much, and it will be nice to start to kite around some of these melee heroes like the Dragon Knight through the BKB, but Bambo still very maneuverable, as well as the mobile Brewmaster through the split, so not going to be too worried about this quick cooldown on the Viper Strike.
Smoke going to be blown by the Disruptor, so he won't get jumped and killed. Fortunately for BBC, they now have a chance at defending this top lane, but Unknown, they're collapsing in force. They have a fresh BKB on the Queen of Pain, and then a little bit of a puppy pause in order to plan out what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure the game plan is clear. Just go and try not to get caught in a black hole. That's pretty much all that they could hope for. Double Damage Rune is on the bottom river, but that's a little bit too far away for their liking. They have everything up. They are probably just going to go for it. And for BBC, the game plan is also pretty clear. Just try to defend. The problem being, Yapzor has 20 seconds away from his TP. And if they don't have the Enigma, if they don't have the Midnight Pulse, they cannot win this fight.
Yeah, they don't quite have the level 16 Elder Dragon for him, so a little bit interesting to see why they don't want to farm that up, but not really going to matter. A couple hero kills will give that to them. Viper Strike goes out onto Mind Control. He'll Dragon Toll up Bridon, who will get the pipe off, but the split is there, and they'll bring him down with the spike. One last Maelstrom tick as well. BKB popped up, Bambo, instant buyback from Padrino's Viper, and they will back off and just look to find some structural damage. Looks like they'll get a tier 3 and be able to back out pretty healthily here. Glyph going to be popped, though. Mind Control getting very low as he was tanking up that tower. Still has his BKB available to him, however, so is standing on the front lines as a battering ram. Jump in call is onto him, though. He's dropping very low, is in call range now, and will be brought down. That's just the Aegis, however. Sonic Wave gonna be committed, and that'll kill off Massacre. BKB popped by Paris as well as by Mind Control. They're gonna look to turn tail and extricate themselves from this one, but the call is dragging back Mind Control. Blink forward from fucking Mad. He'll be there with the impetus shots, draining Padrino's health very much so, and the clap gonna land on two. Paris getting low. Halberd will be there onto Padrino, however. The dunk will finish off the Brewmaster. Jump forward, though. Dagon is gonna finish off Levi, who will buy back instantly. Spike onto two from Magoma. Will keep up Mind Control for the time being. Finger of Death gonna bring Miracle very low. Not quite enough to bring him down, though, and Bambo is slowed up. Can't bring down Miracle as well. The Viper Strike doing so much work in this one. Corrosive Skin as well as the Orb effect, slowing Bambo, and overall, a lot of buybacks expended. Very costly defense for BBC, but they hold their racks for the time being.
They might also get Mind Control on the way out. Yes, they'll kill him one more time, getting yanked back into a Midnight Pulse from the back. Actually, no, that was a puck. Never mind. Sexy Bambo is free and clear. Can't believe that Axe actually survived that entire thing. Was very lucky to get out of there with his life, but Unknown taking one too many casualties. They end up losing the Aegis very quickly. Their split was used very early, and it was used to kill off a Viper, and that's nice and everything, but the split wasn't used to do anything else afterwards. And after Viper brought back, it's like your split was pretty much used for nothing there, except for a buyback, which is fine, but certainly not what you want to be doing. 8-30 and Unknown, they still took down in tier 3. They still have the mid racks in advantage. And BBC, if they don't have the buybacks available in the future, and it's unlikely that they will, then next time that fight happens, Unknown, even if they may not have an Aegis, they're going to be playing it a little bit more safe, and they probably will get some more structural damage onto the range racks at the very least.
Yeah, credit to BBC for hanging on as long as they have with something like a 10k net worth advantage at 12 minutes in. And they now have the Aghanims on both the Axe and on the Viper. I mean, on paper, they certainly do have good high ground defense, but they haven't found too many of those big ultimates. And they still have the Black Hole Coil and the Static Storm all available to them after that engagement. So I think Unknown would have been happy with that had they taken at least a melee racks. But at this point, not the biggest win for them, despite costing 3 buybacks on the Enigma, Disruptor, and Viper.
Well, they have heroes assembling up in the top lane once again with a new set of items. We got a Mask of Madness for the Enchantress. Queen of Pain has a Ghost Scepter. Paris has a Plate Mail. Mind Control has nothing new, and Magoma has not too much of anything new either. I think the Yule Scepter might be new, but it's I don't know. Either way, it's going to be Unknown going in for round 2. And BBC, they have all of their ultimates up, but can they actually withstand this second push? Because now with no more tower to deal with, this push is going to be a little bit more dangerous. Basically Unknown. Mind Control also has his level 3 ultimate, so the Frost Dragon is going to be doing some work there. These Raxes are going to be in quite a bit of trouble. Looks like they're just going to go all in for the melee.
Yeah, they're going to start banging on it with that level 3 Elder Dragon form. He's going to take a Viper Strike and the Illusory Orb, however. It's dropping him pretty low. Jump forward, clap. Split will be committed. Dagging onto Yapstar. He's going to get a big black hole off onto 2, but he's dropping so low. One last right click from the Storm aspect will finish him off. Big Sonic Wave finishes off Bridon. He's down with no buyback as well as the Enigma. Glimpse back onto fucking Mad, but he'll be fine for now. Static Storm pretty much going to whiff entirely. Bambo going to be taunted up by Miracle. He will be dunked up. That's the first one down. Second dunk for Miracle. Double kill going the way of the Axe, but he'll get clapped up. Breathe Fire down. And he's the only one with buyback available. Mind Control banging away on these racks alongside Paris and Magoma. And still 3 versus 1. Jump forward from Miracle's going to get instantly Dragon Tailed up. And the Impale will be there as well as the clap. Breathe Fire. Going to bring him low and bring him down. Eventually Blade Mail popped a little bit too late from Miracle. And the GG is called. BU taking another convincing one in under 35. And they take a 2-0 lead in this grand finals.
And BU are just crushing BBC right now, and I think it might be a little bit of the game 1 effect of BBC being a little bit on tilt. Those were their comfort heroes, and they got destroyed, and now here they're going to be going for something that I'm pretty sure just not exactly what BBC are as comfortable with, and they also just get destroyed. So basically Unknown manhandling BBC, and this is a best of 5, and I thought it would go the distance, but man, basically Unknown are intent on proving me wrong. 13-1-3 on Bambo. Mind Control with 8-1-10. These are really dangerous scores on very dangerous heroes, and basically Unknown are going to claim victory here in game number 2, guys. Game number 3 is going to be coming up very shortly. If you enjoyed the cast, be sure to hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook at HeflaTV. I'm Mike Lars. Been joined by more Rage Please, and we'll be right back for game 3 in just a little bit, guys.